Hey, bro, come on now, dog. Come on, man.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of Come On With The Games podcast, your official home for hip hop entertainment, local and world news. You heard me? Yeah. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And before we get into today's episode, you heard me? You know, it's only right that I let you know that it was sponsored by TSC Collection. You heard me again. That's TSC, the Smoke Chamber Collection. And they told me to tell you that they have everything you need from snapbacks to tees. You understand me? You heard me? I've worn I've worn several shirts and one of the hats from the collection, but this is yet another. This is the white on black ensemble. You understand me? The last episode, you heard me. I had wore the black hat. You understand, with the red bill. Today, you know what I'm saying, it's the black hat with the blue bill. Blue bill. Try to say that fast 3 times. You heard me? You heard me? Snapback, black hat with the blue bill. Ooh, I say that. Snapback, black hat with the blue bill. Snapback, black. I tried. You heard? Nothing beat a failure but a try. You understand me? But anyway, man, like I said, this episode is brought to you by TSC Collection. You heard me? The Smoke Chamber Collection, man. And if you want to place your order and get a tee, a hat, or maybe some smoke screens, glasses, you understand me, then just call 866 Smoke On. Again, to place your order, just call 866 Smoke On, and we're going to get all the smoke you need. You understand me? All right. Now, Lord, oh Lord, oh Lord. This episode right here, I swear it's going to be a 2-part episode. Oh man, the Cash Money No Limit Versus. Lord Jesus, it went down. It went down like the sun at Sham clock. It went down like toilet water last flush, bitch. It went down like Frazier against Ali. It went fucking down, and I hope y'all enjoyed it as much as I enjoyed it. As a matter of fact, give a round of applause for both of those labels. You heard me? That's right. No Limit and Cash Money for putting on a hell of a show. Now, let's get into it. You heard me? Let's get into it, man. So much to unpack. You heard me? First of all, no Wayne. No Wayne? Exactly. That's what the fuck I'm saying. You heard me? I already knew. Nigga already knew you were gonna play Turk to the left. But no fucking Wayne? Man, this is crazy, man. That is diabolical. How did y'all think Cash Money? I want to know how y'all think y'all was going to win that Versus without Wayne. Man, that's crazy that y'all did that, man. That's nasty work, and it's nasty work that Turk wasn't up there. And, oh, man, the comments that was made by Baby, oh, man, it's crazy, man. Oh, man. Oh, man, it's crazy, man. Let's get into that. Let's just start with that. You heard me? The comments that was made by Baby about Turk. Oh my God. Baby said first he called Turk a little bitch. You heard me? First he called Turk a little bitch. Then he told him we gonna fuck with you when we wanna fuck with you. You heard me? So not only did he call him a bitch, but he handled him like a bitch. And Mia X's facial expression was priceless. It said it all. You heard me? As a matter of fact, roll this clip. Like I said, man. Like I said. Shit was crazy, man. Shit was crazy. Y'all make sure that you not only like, share, and subscribe, but put in the comments what the fuck y'all thought about that shit, man. Cause I ain't gonna lie. Stunner. If I was Turk, bitch, you would have got the most public, obnoxious. I'm talking about the biggest. I would have called Charlemagne and let me, man, I would have got Imani to call Charlemagne to let me on the Breakfast Club, they gonna let you come talk your shit, especially they know you got something to say against Baby, you heard me? They gonna let you come pop your shit. You need to tell Imani, book you a motherfucking, book you a interview with Charlamagne the God. You understand me? DJ Envy, Just Hilarious, and Lauren LaRosa. So you can go over there and give your response to Baby, man. And I'm talking about go all out. Don't hold your tongue. Don't bite your tongue. You need to pop before you go over there. You heard? Get drunk or something. Yeah, you need to get drunk. You heard me? Get drunk like you was on Drink Champs. You heard me? Bring your little hot boy cup. Make sure you bring the hot boy cup, because it ain't going to be right if you don't bring the hot boy cup. You got to bring that. Bring the hot boy cup. Get drunk like you got on Drink Champs, but do it on Breakfast Club. You heard me? And turn up, man. Let Baby know what it is and what it ain't. You heard me? If it do or if it don't stink. You understand me, man? You got to let that boy have it, man. Like Frankie and Johnny, man. Come on, man. Come on, Turk. Talk to me, Turk, man. That's crazy, man. And speaking of Turk, you know what I'm saying? Homie had his own verses, too. You heard me? At a club. You understand? And I ain't gonna lie, man, it look packing there. You heard me? Homie really got his supporters, man, that's gonna back him no matter what. You heard me? And that's dope, dog. Ain't nothing like having a solid foundation, a solid cult core fan base, you know what I'm saying, that's gonna rock with you no matter what, you know what I'm saying? Cause, man, I ain't gonna lie. In the independent industry and streaming industry right now, you know what I'm saying, that's almost better than having a machine behind you. You heard me? To have that cult following, because even if the machine decide they don't want to be behind you no more, guess what? That cult following ain't going nowhere. You heard me? The label can leave, but the people ain't going nowhere, because they was the ones that came with you to the label. You understand me? So shout out to Turk for that, man. And shout out for Turk for dropping his NUTS. You understand me? You heard me? Like a real uptown gangster supposed to. You heard me? Dropping them, you know what I mean, and putting on the show and doing something for his fans who got cheated out of him not being at the Versuz. You heard me? Round of applause for that, man. Kudos to Turk, you know what I'm saying, YT, you heard me, Imani, his manager and wife, and his whole team, man, his whole family, you know, all his family and friends that support him, man, because you know what I'm saying? You need that, man, especially when the world is against you. You know what I'm saying? Especially when your brother's against you. You know what I'm saying? He the real life Joseph for real. Man. He the real life Joseph for real, man. But anyway, man, I don't know, man. You know what I'm saying? No, I do know. No Limit won the Versuz. That's a fact. Yeah. I ain't gonna sugarcoat it. I ain't gonna, man, nah, I can't do that. You heard me? I can't pour syrup on poo and call it pancakes. I just can't do that. Cash Money, you wasn't ready. You heard me? You wasn't ready. Are you ready to learn? You wasn't ready. You heard? Man, y'all look like Dipset going against the Locks. That's what it looked like. That's what it reminded me of, dog. It reminded me of Dipset going against the Locks. You heard me? Because, you know what I'm saying, the Locks was just together. They was ready. It seemed like they rehearsed. It seemed like they was locked in. They was focused, you know what I'm saying. Meanwhile, literally and figuratively, Cash Money was all over the place. You know what I'm saying? Your dead Cash Money was all over the place. Literally, because all the artists and the hot boys wasn't there. You know what I'm saying? It was missing Turk and Wayne. So that was where they was at. That's all over the place. You know what I'm saying? I felt like the playlist was all right. However, at the same time, by Turk and Wayne being missing, I don't know. The playlist was kind of all over the place, and it seemed like at this point they was just trying to keep up. Now, mind you, they was already down because, like I said in episode 4, you heard me? Like I said in the last episode, you heard me, man. Look, it was already 4 dudes going against a whole label. You heard me? It was 4 hot boys going against a whole label because that was the era at that time. So that's really who the competition should have been between. And that's who it remained between. And I do give, you know what I mean, Cash Money props for that. You heard me, not trying to make it, you know what I'm saying? Look, the Hot Boys was there when we was there, you heard me, and we was there when the Hot Boys was there. So that's who we go against. So they made that fair. But however, boy, the way they put Belt to bottom, I ain't gonna lie. You would have thought Cash Money showed up with nobody. You heard me? And the thing that I'm most proud of is the leadership of P. You heard me? I'm proud of the leadership of P. Because no matter what they say about Big Homie, when it's time to stand up for him and ride for him, they standing up and ride. You heard me? And I done damn near heard them all say something about him. Not too long ago, but they had the tribute. You heard me? And it was supposed to be Master P farewell tribute. You know what I'm saying? It was a little problem. And when I was at the Essence Fest, and Mia X didn't show up, you heard me? Because she was like, well, I ain't get my bread, you heard me? And I just can't be showing up like that, you heard me? If I ain't getting my bread and, other people getting the bread, I can't do that, you heard me? I got to get my fee. And that was my problem with P. And that's what she said, you heard me? She was standing on business, excuse me. She was standing on business. She wasn't budging, and she didn't perform. However, au contraire, my frere. On the contrary, when it came time to ride, it's a versus, it's a battle. Look, we gonna figure all that out later. You heard me? We there, and all fatigues. You heard me? Soldier down. You heard me? And they was riding with P, man, as opposed to Cash Money, who was all over the place. You know what I'm saying? You ain't got Wayne there. You ain't got Turk there. You only got a couple of people that are riding for Baby, man. And man, if that's not a clear case of leadership reflects attitude, I don't know what is. I said, if that's not a clear case of leadership or attitude reflects leadership, let me put it that way. That's the correct way to say it. Attitude reflects leadership, man, and it looks like from the attitude of all the No Limit artists and the attitude of all the Cash Money artists or lack thereof, it looked like P was the better leader, man. It looked like P was the better leader, and last night they damn sure was the better label. You understand? So, man, shout out to P. Salute them No Limit Soldiers. Salute my uncle, Mr. Servon. You heard me? The bitch, that's Uncle Servon. You know what I'm saying? When I was a kid, I used to call her Elmer Fudd with my other uncle, fella. You heard me? But that's neither here nor there. I just wanted you bitches to know that that's my uncle. You heard me? Yeah, clap for that. You heard me? But salute to them, man. Y'all did y'all thing, man, and y'all held it down, and I ain't gonna lie. Y'all was busting out classics I ain't heard in I don't know how long, you heard me? But I ain't gonna lie, but when I heard that Break You Out something, I was like, boy, I forgot how hard P was, pause. You heard me? I forgot how hard, but that boy look. But that boy running that shit. Yo, that boy running it, you heard me? Going off, you heard me? And I ain't gonna lie. They was on they behind. You heard me? No Limit was on Cash Money behind the whole time. You heard me? That boy Baby said he was the number one stunner. And P told that boy, yeah, I know you're the number one stunner and all that, you understand me, but guess what? Check this out, you heard me? I'm from Uptown too, and I was Uptown too. I said, why you was the first to do that? I was the first to say I'm about it. Boy, I'm about it. Woo! It went down, man. It went down. It went down, man. So, man, salute, like I said, man, one more time, man, salute to No Limit. But however, no matter how good you think something went or how perfect you might try to make it, it's just sometimes not enough, And for the former artist, No Limit artist, Mercedes, it wasn't enough. Because Mercedes was livid. When I say livid, she was livid that she was not on stage performing her song. You heard me? And and she says that, you know what I mean, she, she feel betrayed. You know what I'm saying? She feel hoodwinked and bamboozled, and it's not the first time. You heard me? It's not the first time that she felt this way when it comes to No Limit Records. And at the verses, you know what I'm saying, she did not. Not only did she not perform, but she was in the crowd, man, and she was there while they performed that song on stage, and she says there's no way for her to, you know what I'm saying, not be there, now. In Mac's defense, you heard me, he say she wasn't contracted to be there, you know what I'm saying, and that Versus did not contract her to be there like they contracted the other artists. You feel me? So it was really not in their hands. It was in Versus' hands. Not only did he say that, but he said he has performed that song many, 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 many times before. You did, and when he has, no one sings her part. He just let the crowd perform it and sing it. You know what I'm saying? And he sang the part. He sang the part that he wrote. Now here's where it gets tricky, because he said he wrote the whole song. And if he wrote the whole song, then that means the performing rights is his as well. She just performed the song, but the performing rights as well as the publishing is his as well. That would make it his song and his, that he could perform anywhere, anyhow, anytime that he wants to. So if what he is saying is right, if he wrote the song, even the singing parts, and they just performed it, then the actual performing rights is his. You know what I'm saying? Because the performing rights is for whoever wrote the shit. You know what I'm saying? And that's a fact, Jack. And if you need to know more about that, I suggest everybody, you know what I'm saying, go buy the book, All You Need to Know About the Music Business. Once again, it's called All You Need to Know About the Music Business. And it will put you on game about your publishing, your performing rights, you know what I'm saying, how to gather your monies that's overseas, you know what I'm saying, your foreign monies. It teach you a lot. Everything you need to know about the music business, to be exact. You know what I'm saying? So it updates. A new version comes out every year because the music business changes every year, But some things never change. Some things remain the same. And that is, and one thing that never changes is, if you wrote it, that's your song. I don't care who you got to sing it. You could perform it anywhere you want to, no matter who sung it. And you can get somebody else to sing it if you wrote it. So, I don't know, man. That's tricky. Mercedes, if Mac wrote it, you might want to sit this one out, boo. You know what I'm saying? I know it hurt. I know it feel bad. And I feel you. Like, it's kind of messed up. You know what I'm saying? Like, it should have called you, contracted or not. Man, I should have been on stage singing that, contracted or not. You heard me? I should have been on stage making history with my comrades. You heard me? And I ain't get a chance to do that. So I feel you. You heard me? But however, this ain't the music friends. This ain't the music partners. This is the music business. And if he wrote it, then business is business, and he should stand on business, even though it's not something maybe I would have, chose to do. I think I would have maybe at least tried to reach out and be like, damn, we can't get what Mercedes doing. Yeah, I think ain't nobody talk to Mercedes. I would at least say that. You know what I'm saying? And not to say that, that Mac didn't deliberately do it, or P, or whoever, you know what I'm saying? Or Versus, for that matter. I'm just saying, if I want the full No Limit experience, I want the full No Limit experience. I want the original people. If they are living and they are alive and they can get you, tell them get you. You heard me? And if the budget ain't big enough, you shouldn't be doing the verses in the first place. You heard me? If you didn't have enough money for everybody, then you shouldn't have did the verses in the first place. Because in order to in order to do what everybody did, everybody must be there for it to be done. You understand me? If they could be, you know what I'm saying? Rest in peace to Soldier Slim. You know what I'm saying? Free C Murder. You heard me? Free Mystical. You know what I'm saying? Rest in peace, Mr. Magic. You understand me? You heard me? Rest in peace to the fallen soldiers that couldn't be there. You know, but man, for the ones that could and they wasn't even reached out to or hit up, damn, that's it kind of sucks. You know what I mean? And you can't say, that she ain't on the radar. She on the radar. You heard me? Cause she was showed on the radar when Charlemagne disrespected her on Breakfast Club. P stood up and stood on business. Like, man, don't you talk about her like that? She a mom with kid, whoop the whoop, man. That's my yeah. You heard me? Whoop the whoop the whoop. So you already know, you aware of her. That wasn't even that long ago to be, and that clip's still floating around. So you forget that much probably. I don't know. You might be more busier than I or she think you are. However, somebody should have reached out. So I feel you, baby. I feel you. You heard me, but business is business. What can I say, man? What can I say, man? Wow. There's so much more to unpack with this verses, man. I ain't gonna lie. That's why I say we're gonna have to do a part two because man, that Turk had a lot to say as well, man. Turk had a lot to say in response to Baby's comments about him being a little bitch and we gonna fuck with you when we wanna fuck with you and saying stuff like that, you understand me? But I feel like Turk gonna go all the way in. I feel like his response is gonna go all the way in when he do respond. He been saying little things here and there, but I feel like when he respond, Turk gonna go in. You heard me? If I know like I think I know, Turk gonna go in. So we gonna bring part two of this episode then, and we gonna talk about Turk going in. You heard me? But for now, in more hip hop news, you heard me? YF and Lucci did an interview with Cam Newton on his podcast called Freaky Friday. You heard me? Mm-hmm. And it was a great interview, man. You heard me? I think he kept it real, when he was speaking about Young Thug, because he spoke about Thug on there. His feelings, just about if he holds any animosity, toward him right now, whoop de whoop, man, and Holmes ain't even much tripping on that. You know what I'm saying? He ain't tripping on that. Just like he ain't trying to be friends or beef. You heard me? But if they gonna have any type of friction or any type of contact, he like I'm on the bag. You know what I'm saying? If they about getting his bag, I ain't tripping. And if not, then I'm gonna just stay out the way. But otherwise, I ain't tripping. You know what I'm saying? And I believed him. When he said that, I believed him. I think he was being very vulnerable. I think he was being, very candid. And I think inadvertently he was pushing peace. You know what I'm saying? He was exhibiting a hell of a lot more maturity and growth, in my opinion, when now that he is out than Thug has. You know what I'm saying? It seemed like Thug came out a little cocky, almost like he was still on it. You know what I mean? And it was still whatever. But God got a funny way of humbling you, boy. He got a funny way of humbling you. If you don't get it, he gonna get you till you get it. He ain't gonna stop until you get it. And when you get it, you got it. You understand me? When you get it, you got it. And you can't act like you ain't got it. You know? You can't act like you ain't got it. You can't walk around with a certain naivete like you didn't know that you done been dealt with by God and given another chance. You can't do that. Why you think Takashi still going to jail? You can't walk around with the naivete. You can't afford. You cannot afford. Nor does your life have the capacity for you to walk around and be naive like you ain't know that God chastised you. And when you was being chastised and being whooped, boy, them fucking lashes hurt, boy. I say them lashes hurt, boy. Every time he hit you, oh yeah, yeah. Oh Lord, no, no, Lord, yeah. You heard me? You can't act like I know God dealt with me. Boy, he ain't even have to. I ain't even have to do my whole time in the penitentiary. I was after day 2. I was like, I'm so sorry, and I was really sorry. I was sorry. I apologized. I wasn't. I was sorry. You understand? I apologize. Yes, ma'am. You heard me? I wasn't telling nobody on nobody. I ain't had nobody to tell on. You understand? But man, yes, ma'am. Yes, sir. I was in there, but I was sorry. But God had to. He had to chastise me, and there wasn't no getting around it. The only way I had to get to it was to go through it. You know what I'm saying? I had to get to a point where I know that, man, look, God is dealing with me, man. I just got to take this, you heard me, and take this humbling experience, you know what I'm saying, until I can, you know what I mean, be set free by the truth and vibrate at a higher frequency, you know what I'm saying? And continue to stay on that God-like wavelength, you know, without wavering, because I know I done been dealt with, you know what I mean? I can't act like I don't have the knowledge that I done been dealt with by God. He said, for lack of knowledge, my people would perish. I got the knowledge. Now it's time to apply the knowledge and make them wisdom, and it will be wise. It will behoove me and be in my best interest, you heard me, to not walk around with the naivete that I haven't been dealt with by God. And I don't know about you, ladies and gentlemen, but when you get chastised by God, whenever it stops, you don't want it to happen again. You understand me? So I think Lucci in his interview with Cam on Cam's platform and his podcast, Freaky Friday, was, you know what I'm saying, definitely more honest, more transparent, more it had more clarity than those interview with Big Bank on Bank's platform and his podcast, Perspectives with Big Bank. And not to say it was a better interview, because I think I felt like, excuse me, woo, yeah, smoke. I felt like Thug's interview was the better interview. I think that, without no shade or hate, um, just my opinion, I think that, you know, Big Banks was is a more experienced and better interviewer at this point, and it was just more authentic and real coming from Bank. You know what I'm saying? But coming from Lucci in his interview with Cam on his platform, it was definitely more vulnerable, more honest, and I believed it. You know what I'm saying? Thug, not so much. Yeah, we don't believe you. We need more people. You know. However, on the other hand, Lucci's, yeah, man, I felt that. You know what I mean? So shout out to him, man. Shout out to Holmes, because he seemed like he got his head on right. You know what I'm saying? Seemed like he on his square, you know, and he ain't trying to let nobody or no sucker take him off. So, you know, kudos to him for that, man. And if you haven't, I suggest you go watch, you know what I'm saying, that episode of Freaky Friday with Cam Newton interviewing YF and Lucci, man. It's a dope interview. You heard me? Moving on. In today's world news, thieves stole the jewelry from Louvre Museum, you heard me, in Paris. Lord Jesus Christ. They done stole the crown jewels, ladies and gentlemen. No, literally, they have. They really stole the crown jewels, man. Suspects that got away. Suspects that got away on a motorcycle, man, after they dressed up like construction workers, and in less than 7 minutes, man, broke into the Louvre Museum in Paris, you heard me, and stole the Emperor Napoleon and his wife's jewelry. Now, I know you may be saying to yourself, so what? Big deal. It's just a jewelry heist. Nah, bruh. Nah, this ain't no any jewelry. This jewelry was so priceless, they just threw a value on it. And they valued that at 100 million, but before that, yeah, I said 100 million. You saw how I just cruised through that, right? Yes, they valued it at 100 million, but before that, they couldn't put a price on it, literally making it priceless. Ladies and gentlemen, these dudes made off with some jewels that was literally priceless. You understand me? And if they had to put a value on it, it was valued at $100 million. $100 million. Yeah, they said that on national television. You heard me? I forget what news station I was watching, but they said that. And with that being said, I'm sure that whoever received that jewelry to hock it, you understand me, got the memo as well. You can't lowball me. You got to come with something close to the 100 million or something around that range. Yeah, I take the money. Give me the money. You understand me? You can't lowball me. You heard the news? Yeah. Mm-hmm. You heard the news. We the biggest. $100 million. Man. And as of right now, the thieves. I ain't gonna lie. This shit punishing me today. Jesus. I wish I could tell you where I got my shit from, but if I tell you where I get my shit from, I might not have no more shit to get when I go get it. Where I get it from. But shout out to where I get it from. And shout out to those thieves, man, for making a great escape. Some real Indiana Jones, Ocean's 11, 7, and whatever. You heard me, type heist. They pulled an Italian job real quick and made off with the money. Yeah. They literally made off with the money. They got the money. And got away on motorcycles, man. I don't know, man. I'm gonna stay tuned, man, and keep y'all updated, cause I'm secretly rooting for these guys. You know what I'm saying? Y'all was, don't look, don't. Okay, I feel the hate, I feel the judging right now. When I said that I was rooting for the thieves, I felt it. But y'all the same people that was, rooting for Derrick Rose. Come on, man. Come on, man. I mean, a little part of me was rooting for him too, but the rest of me realized that this nigga killed a lot of people. And maybe he might need to be on the street. I don't know. Call me crazy. But anyway, I'm rooting for him, man. And I don't know, man. I'm taking bets. I'm taking a wager. I'm taking a wager that in the next 3 months they won't be caught. $100. If you're taking a wager that the thieves in the next 3 months won't be caught, put bet in the comments. You heard me? And everybody gonna see. I'm gonna screenshot it. Everybody gonna see that you made that bet. And in the next 3 months from the date that I post this, you understand? If they haven't been caught, I want my money. You understand me? And if I don't get my money, I will let everybody know that you got my money. You understand me? Yeah. And it's a bet. Let's shake on it. Mm-hmm. There's a bet. We shook on it. You heard me? We shook on it. Everybody saw it too. You heard me? As a bet. You heard me? But in more world news, man. Many arrests are being made. You heard me? Due to gambling in the NBA. Yes, that's right. I said gambling in the NBA. It's going down, man. They ain't got enough money. They ain't got enough money that they... Man, I mean, I know gambling is a big thing, you know what I'm saying? I used to rap, for a record label called Act Right Records, and it was owned by an NBA player named Jonathan Bender, you know what I'm saying? He played for the Indiana Pacers, and by, just me chopping it up with him, I know gambling is, it's a thing, you know what I'm saying? I remember, shooting dice with Jermaine O'Neal and Jamal Tinsley, and I think a dude named James Brewer, you heard from the ATL, who what I'm saying, who played for them too as well. You know what I'm saying? And, this was about Jonathan House, and that's how when I realized how big, basketball players really were too, because Jonathan was a 7-footer and he was huge, but Jermaine O'Neal was a 7-footer and he was huger. And when I saw Jermaine O'Neal stand next to Shaq, he was the hugest. So it's crazy. But anyway, I say all that to say this. I done been around some basketball players, and I know that they got a little bit more bread than the average bear to gamble. So they like to gamble, and that's all right as long as nobody don't get carried away with it. Wrong. They like to get carried away with it. You understand me? Yeah. They call it guts every time, drag their nuts every time, homie. And a lot of them get into a lot of debt, and they get into debt with the wrong people, man. And it sounds like this is the case right here, because not only are NBA players involved, but ladies and gentlemen, all right, the mob. That's right, the mob, the mafia, mothers and fathers of Italian Americans. You understand me? Mafia. Yeah, they are involved, and not just anybody. Lord Jesus, they say all the 5 families in New York are involved in this scheme, this money making scheme involving gambling in the NBA. You heard me? So far, there's been a lot of arrests made. Mm-hmm. And two in particular, you heard me? One involving Chauncey Billups. You understand me? And the other one involving Tevin Rozier. You heard me? NBA player play for the NBA. For the Miami Heat in the NBA. Now here's the kicker though. Here's the kicker. I want y'all to pay attention to this, right? They let this dude keep all his money in his contract. You heard me? They sitting him on the bench for this, but he still get to stay on the team, and he still get to keep all his money. Man, how that go? How that go? Sound like somebody making deals. Yeah, I said it. Yeah, it sounds, man, look like somebody making deals, man. 'Cause that's a sweet deal. I don't know how, basketball contracts go or not. You know what I'm saying? But it sounds like, I don't know. Either way it go, that's a sweet deal. Man, shout out to Kevin Rozier. You heard me? But the other boys don't seem so happy. You heard me? Man, they talking about Stephon Marbury is involved in this, man, and more players are being added to the list as we speak. You know what I'm saying? And as far as the scheme goes, it seems like, you know what I'm saying, not only are, people taking themselves out of the games at, certain times to, bend the rules and kind of, cover the spread, but also they've been having poker games. You understand me? And some of the dealers, the dealing machines are rigged. You heard me? The mafia got the dealing machines rigged. Now, this sounds like a mafia tactic, you know what I'm saying? Especially for a good earner. It sounds like the earner of the year right here. You know what I'm saying? And they using Chauncey Billups as the bait to catch the big fish. You heard me? They putting him on a hook. They bringing the big fish in with him. You know what I'm saying? Now, here's the thing. I know some of them people that he brought in probably was his partners, you heard me? Or his partners. You heard me? Man, how they gonna feel about that boy when they found out that boy brought him into something that he knew was fraud? He knew was fool. To the point where they got text messages that he got, man, saying, man, hey, man, you gotta slow down winning so much, you heard me? Can't keep winning too much, you heard me? Because they gonna know something's up. Man, this is crazy. Mm-hmm. It's crazy work, ladies and gentlemen. It's crazy work. Man, and we're going to get more in depth, more into it. And I'm going to come back with more details, not only about that, but about the heist as well. And about Turk's response, because I'm waiting on it, you heard me? I ain't going to lie. I got my popcorn ready, you heard me? And this is episode 5. Part 1 of Come On With The Games podcast, your home for hip-hop entertainment, local and world news. Please stay tuned for part 2. And man, don't meet me there, beat me there. You heard me? Yeah, 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 yeah. And you will. I haven't forgot. You heard me. You will get the argue with your mom segment, and I can't wait for y'all to see what it is. But until then, you heard me. Part 2 is coming through.